Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome. How's everybody? It's so fun to be here. I missed you. I missed all this rushing and all this stuff and all this pushing and, you know, I miss saying hello. It feels like y'all are a million miles away when we don't get to say hi. So, hello. Welcome, welcome. Today is September 14th, and we are doing tonight, we're doing Pattern of the Month. Number 2009 is called Vera's Skirt. And that's what we're doing. So we're going to start off. Welcome, everybody. It's great to be here. We got perfect weather. Well, perfect weather to me in Dallas. Everybody else, it's freezing. I mean, it's too hot. I love it. And we're going to start off with questions and answers like we always do. Lots of exciting things happening around the world. Lots of good things, lots of bad things, but all kinds of stuff happening. So we're grateful that you're here, and we are going to have fun. I work hard so that you guys will learn. I love doing it, and we learn in the process. So get your Corvette, and we're ready to go. Questions. We're going to start with questions. I am, you sneaky little people, you. Yes. Next webcast will be our new patterns. We'll release our new patterns next webcast. But we've had them done for like a couple months, and every webcast I'm like, I can't wear them. I can't wear them. That's not fair. But I'm sneaking in and I'm wearing one of them. So it is one of the new ones. And we'll have them, like I said, we'll release them next week. The webcast next time will be on them. So plenty of time for new patterns. It's still hot outside, so. But I did one in a new fabric we have, but I don't know what the fabric is. But oh, I love this fabric. It's like two-sided. It's wonderful. It feels like a sweatshirt. I mean, it's wonderful. It's really nice. Did I say when the new patterns would be out? I think the new patterns will be out around the 18th or 19th or 20th, something like that. Next week, end of next week, I think. But we won't. The next webcast will be on. We'll do all the new patterns, and we'll do a fall forecast because we haven't done that yet. I didn't want to do it in August. It's too early anyway. So as you all know, it's Fashion Week in New York. They are doing all the spring stuff for 2016. It's kind of fun. It's kind of exciting. But it's even more exciting to focus in on the fall. The fall has so many beautiful things out there. There's so many beautiful clothes. So tonight when we do the skirt, we're tying in all the fall concepts in the skirts tonight. So, you'll hear a little bit of it. So we'll do a little bit tonight, a little bit next time. The greatest thing about making clothes, y'all, is that you can pull all this stuff together. I mean, I think that's really exciting. If we're going to make new stuff for ourselves, why would we want it to look old? That doesn't make sense. We don't want it to look new. Alright, so Ellie's top is a smocking done by hand stitching. It is. It's pattern number 185. It doesn't take long at all. It is hand stitching. I mean, I don't know a way to do it by machine. I guess you can do it by machine, but we did the directions by hand just so that everybody would have access to doing them, as opposed to if you didn't have a machine that did that kind of stuff. But it probably takes 30 minutes at the most because it's just a couple rows up the front and then over the neck. Very simple to do, very pretty, really very pretty. Does the blouse have 3 layers in the front? The blouse I have on, yes, it has 3 layers. It has 1, ready? 1, 2, 3. Kind of not 3 layers. Yeah, kind of. I guess it does have 3 layers. They don't all show all the way down, but yeah, it has 3 layers. All right, what else? I think y'all are just so smart. I was in Minneapolis on Saturday, and okay, so I learned some things you're doing, and this is what I'm going to tell you not to do. I'm going to use them. I learned from them. The first thing you're not going to do is you're going to quit slashing. Oh my gosh, y'all are slashaholics. Absolute slashaholics. You think whenever there's a problem you should just slash it and it'll fix it. slashing is rarely the solution. Even if you know patterns, you generally you should be taking away. Slashing is implying that you're going to add. So number one, quit slashing. You are slash fiends. To every problem someone said, okay, so we slash it. I'm like, there must be something you've learned out there that's something to do with slashing, because for everything that comes up, y'all are ready to slash. Just go for it. All right, the second thing I learned is that you all go right for the problem. So part of the reason, as I teach you L, C, and D, part of the reason you're not learning that is because you're not going through the process of L, C, and D. So this is very, very exciting. Hear me out here. If you do LCD, and if you really do it and really go through that process, by the time you do L, C, and D, all the problems will be solved. And you are teaching yourself whether the problem is L, C, or D. So the whole reason I taught you to go that direction is so that you will learn what the problem is. But you don't do that. You say, oh, there's a problem. How do I fix that? Well, you're never going to learn to fix that if you don't learn what it is. And you're not going to learn what it is if you don't go L, C, and D. So LCD is a learning process to where you will learn what the problem is. Once you know them and you got fitting down and you're a fit guru, you don't have to use LCD. You don't have to go in that order. I mean, I go in that order just because if you don't, you may end up having to repeat something or undo it and then do it again. So that's why I go in that order. But I really didn't teach you this so that just to make it hard. I really taught it to you to make it easy. So I learned that also. You're not going in order of LCD. You're just going right for the problem. Now maybe those are only the ladies in Minneapolis, but I don't think that's true. I think that I find that in every group. Okay. This is a knit, yes. Takes 2 yards. I don't know. What's the weight of this fabric? I don't know, but we're going to find out, because I have a speedy person over here on the internet, on the computer, and he will find out. I don't even know the name of this fabric, but I love it. I mean, I love it. The minute I bought it in New York, I was so excited. Okay, here's the question. Sorry. I've watched some of your Fit to Stitch shows on YouTube. Thanks, by the way. You're welcome. In some of them, I see you with your armhole templates. How did you make them? Did you do an episode about them? All right, how did I make them? I took my pattern, I drew this portion, I drew down on the side seam, I drew an inch on the shoulder seam, and that's it. I connected those two. I made it about 1 inch wide. It's your armhole. Just draw it on a poster board and cut it out. Y'all can do that. I went about the whole thing. All the ladies in Minneapolis, every one of them, I didn't tell Brett this, told me to come home and thank Brett for that measurement chart, because we have an ongoing battle that he shouldn't have done it, but he did it anyway. So everyone loves the measurement chart, but we're dumbing you down. So that's the reason I didn't want to do the measurement chart. But everyone says it's not dumbing us down. It's just encouraging us to get those measurements. So, okay. 6 ounce, what's that? Oh, this is 6 ounce. What's the name of the fabric? Italian reversible red brown polyacrylic knit. It's got some wool in it too. It's really beautiful. What those Italians are doing with poly is amazing stuff, but it's really comfortable. I love it. I really like it. And like I said, you can use 2 sides, so to me this was perfect. Okay. The other thing I learned in Minneapolis, I was going to tell you, that was the second thing. The third thing I learned is that you are learning. You are smart. You are getting smarter by the minute. You are smart. You are really picking this up. And the biggest thing, the biggest deterrent, the number one thing that's holding you back is that previous knowledge. And I'm not saying that. Y'all are telling me that. I'm telling you that because that's what I'm being told, is the previous information that you have that's inaccurate. And I feel bad for that, but there's not anything I can do with it, but just keep supplying good information to you. And the other thing I learned was that when you guys are sewing, you turn on the YouTube or you turn on a webcast just to listen to it. Like you're not really listening, but just to hear it. And so my question was, aren't you sick of my voice? And your response was no. And that's really nice of you because I'm kind of sick of my voice, but you're not, so it's okay. All right, so again, thanks for watching. We're learning. We're as a group. We're really traveling. We're progressing so far. All right, I have a dropped waist in the front. You have a dropped waist? Okay. There is about a 2-inch difference from front to back. When I make pants or skirt, how do I handle this? Well, this question has to be based on the assumption that the front of the waist and the back of the waist are somehow even. They are not. On any person out there, they are not even. Most women, they like their pants lower in the front, higher in the back. Here's the good news. All they have to do is meet at the sides. So if it's 2 inches lower in the front, then take an inch and go up to the side and take an inch and go down to the side, and then it'll meet all the way around. I don't think anybody's waist is even. That's just clearly not the case. So just simply all they have to do is meet at the side seam. You know, your waist on your body is just wherever you want it to be, and the fabric can follow that. You just have to tell the fabric what to do, and wherever you want it in the back and wherever you want it in the front, you just draw a line to meet and connect both of them. Pretty simple. So something in your previous teaching told you that some waist was, I don't know, I've heard waists are perpendicular to the floor. It's like, are you serious? I mean, there's no way that's even possibly true. So get that. We got to get that stuff out of our heads. No, perpendicular. Perpendicular. Is that what I'm trying to say? Parallel. Well, parallel. Parallel to the floor. Yeah. Like perpendicular to a stick, a yardstick. Parallel to the floor. They're not parallel to the floor. They're not any of that stuff. How's that? Perpendicular, parallel, or none of that. So regardless of the term, they're not. Waists are crooked. And as crooked as we make our clothing, waist will look straight. So it's all good. We have enough rules in sewing. We don't need to worry about waist. All right, we have a question. It's cool. And after this question, if you don't have any more questions, we'll start into our webcast. Are these good looking outfits? I mean, I hope y'all think they're good looking. I think they're great looking. I have seen a process of putting a dart in a one-piece sleeve. Do you ever add a dart to a one-piece sleeve in order to make it fit better? Personally, no. Do you want me to explain that answer? The answer is no, I don't. The reason I don't is because if you understand bigger picture, a one-piece sleeve is used in blouses and t-shirts. The reason it is used in blouses, now keep in mind, a one-piece sleeve that had a dart in it goes back 40 years. When the fabric was not stretch, and the reason there was a dart there was to give the sleeve an angle. So it gave the one-piece sleeve an angle to match the angle of the arm so that the arm would have a little bit more mobility and feel less restrictive. Today's garments have two-piece sleeves. They didn't have two-piece sleeves originally when they put a dart in that one-piece sleeve. The darted one-piece sleeve was converted to a two-piece sleeve. In fact, we have a whole new DVD out. You know that? I forgot. We have a whole new DVD out. Is it online now? It's not. No, it's not. But it'll be up tomorrow. We'll announce it tomorrow. It's called Sleeves. So we take this one-piece sleeve and turn it into a two-piece sleeve, and the dart is built into the sleeve. It's like a princess seam. All right. So if I want a sleeve that has more mobility like that, I'm going to use a two-piece sleeve. The one-piece sleeve is like what I have on. It's for knits. It's for blouses. Blouses are lightweight fabric. They don't need the direction that a two-piece sleeve offers. A two-piece sleeve is in jackets, and jackets, because generally they're a heavier fabric, they need a little more direction. So appropriately used, I wouldn't put a one-piece sleeve in a jacket. I would put a two-piece sleeve. I would only use a one-piece sleeve in a knit or in a blouse, and then a dart isn't necessary. It's just not necessary. The fabric is either going to give because it's a knit, or it's going to be so lightweight it's a blouse that it doesn't need a dart. So I hope that explains why I would not. But if you like it and you want to do it, there's nothing wrong with it. It's the base sleeve. The original base sleeve has a dart at the elbow. Okay? Just so that you all understand. Okay. All right, so let's get into 2009. So I'm going to officially announce this DVD. It is called What's Up Your Sleeves. What's Up Your Sleeves. And it is a DVD. It's an hour. It is on armhole sleeve relationships, getting your perfect sleeve down, getting your perfect armholes down, and then making all the different kinds of sleeves that you want to from your base sleeve that you create. Your kimono, your raglan, your two-pleats, yada 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 yada. Okay, so, and then at the end, I actually sew in a one-piece sleeve, and I sew in a two-piece sleeve, and show you how to set those both in. All right, so that'll go on special. It'll start tomorrow. It's $19.99 until Sunday. We're only going to go for a few days until Sunday, and then starting then it will be full price at $29.99, and we'll do free shipping. But for a while it's $19.99. Just from now until Sunday, we'll release that tomorrow. Okay, so our pattern of the month for September is 2009. The reason I picked 2009 was because skirts are just really strong for fall. They're very, very popular. I want you all to take another look at skirts. If you haven't taken a look at skirts, I really want you to take a look at skirts, because for winter, to me, they're perfect. They're tight driven. You should wear tights under them. You could wear 2 pairs of tights, 3 pairs of tights. So they can actually be warmer than pants if you wear enough layers of tights, or nice thick tights. The boots out today are so wonderful. All the fall boots are so cute. There's some over the knee, but they're flats, so it's not like you have to wear high heels, and they're so much more fashion forward than trying to wear a shoe as far as the fall goes. So a great pair of boots, flats. Get a pair that's just really comfortable and just wear them all over the place. So skirts it's perfect timing in the fall, in September, to start sewing skirts. I have a skirt, I bought a pair of boots. I bought them last year. I showed them to you, I remember. But they are over the knee. They're flats and they're over the knee. So in my mind, I was making all these skirts knee length for me, because that's kind of what I wanted to wear. So I was really looking at where I would wear them. I just think skirts for fall are so cute. They just really, I don't know, I just really like them. So hopefully I can spread my enthusiasm for you guys, and you'll like them as much as I do. All right, so the very first thing with 2009, now 2009 is a pencil skirt. The pencil skirt, before it was called a pencil skirt, it was called a hobble skirt. And a hobble skirt was the name because you had to hobble. You couldn't move your legs because the skirt got smaller at the bottom than it did at the hips, and I think that's kind of a cute name. I kind of like that idea. We had to hobble. But now we have slits or openings, or if you make them knee length, you don't have to hobble. You can work without any problem. All right, so this skirt has a front and a back. It is a lined skirt. It has a contoured facing. So what that means is at the top of the skirt, it has a facing that comes down and finishes the edge. It does not have a band to it. The contoured waistband is closed up inside. I'm a big believer that for skirts, as far as women go, we're so curvy that to have a waistband at the top of a skirt is risky, because it covers up it covers up an inch, and our bodies are changing kind of quickly. They don't stay the same for that amount of time. So it's really nice to have a contoured band. That contoured band drops inside of the garment, and then of course picks up the lining. So the pattern is lined. It's your option whether you want to line it or not. If you decide not to line it, let me just show you one thing you need to change on the very front band, because what happens, let me just kind of explain this to you with these pieces, is the band itself sews to the front. Well, what happens is this front facing right here sews to the lining, and then these two pieces right here sew to the front facing. So if you decide to not line it, this facing piece has to have an amount added to it. And just lay it down and you'll be able to see that it just has to be added to, because it won't have the front facing there if you decide to do some of the changes we're going to do. We're going to use this as our straight skirt. Now you're going to see all kinds of great things come out of it. Alright, so the very first thing I would recommend is you do a straight skirt in a knit, a black knit. So if I were to say to you, one thing the ladies in Minneapolis told me, they said to quit making samples in black. Well, that's not going to happen, okay? Just an FYI. If I'm recommending you to make a basic black skirt, I'm not going to make it green and say, okay, make it black. I'm going to make it black. You all don't need to see the details of the black skirt. You can tell that it's a black knit skirt. So what I used was the Pontoroma knit. I actually used the Eileen Fisher Pontoroma knit. And all you're going to do is make, I can't get this at the right height, but here we go, is this basic black skirt. You're going to put the center front, it'll take you 10 minutes. You're going to put the center front on the fold, center back on the fold, and simply do the band. And that's it. And I used the, I didn't use a contoured waistband on this, I used the yoga band. So this is a straight skirt, yoga skirt, is really what it is. But there's times where we don't want a yoga skirt. A yoga skirt's an A-line and we don't want the fullness. So I want you to use this as a straight skirt, but put a band on it. You'll just wear it out. You'll absolutely wear it out. You'll wear it everywhere. It's a great travel skirt. It's flattering as can be. And it's just going to serve you a million miles. Okay, so that's skirt number one you're going to make. You're going to make the skirt 6 times, okay? I made it more than that, but you guys can stop at 6. Now, the one thing I want to get across to you is the fit. The skirt's going to fit really well. I want to make sure you understand how to use the French curve at the side seam. You're going to take and move the French curve up and down the side seam until it fits. You all should know your numbers, yes? You know how a French curve relates to your hip. So that's the only thing you're going to need to change. And if you are higher on the French curve, then you'll change it, add a little bit through here. Don't change the waist, don't change the hip. I would pick the skirt out for the waist. I know what it says about the hip, but I would pick it out for the waist where you want it to sit and then adjust the hip accordingly. And let me know if there's any fitting questions to get this skirt to fit. By far, a skirt is the easiest thing to fit and the easiest thing to sew. In our whole entire wardrobe, it is. There's one skirt in here, I'll show it to you a little bit later. I made it. I was inspired by Chanel. The Chanel skirt was $1,400. $1,400 in the stores right now. I don't understand. How could a skirt cost $1,400? It's a yard of fabric, maybe 2 yards. That's why we sew. We can go shopping and get great ideas and bring it back. That's just the craziest thing I've ever seen. $1,400 for a skirt. Okay, so the simplest one is your black. The next one I'm going to do is the same thing as the black. We're just going to make 2 of them. I did not line the knit one. I did not line the knit one because it's knit. I didn't feel like it needed to be lined. You could, the pattern's lined, and if you wanted to do a lining, but I did not rely on the knit for fit. I think it's important that you understand that. I didn't make it tight. I just made 2 layers. But you could go ahead and just cut a lining and sew them both at the same time right into the band if you wanted to have it lined. It would be very, very simple to do. I did not. No, an adjustment for a shorter individual, you guys, just comes off the bottom. So you don't need to change internally. Just cut off the bottom. How wide is the elastic on the straight skirt? Is a 2-inch. Okay. All right. So the next one I did is this one right here. I paired it. This is a new pattern. You forget about that right now. But this is a jean jacket. We made it a couple weeks ago, so this was a perfect little outfit that I put together. This is kind of that coffee rayon knit. The jean jacket is a vest, but the shirt underneath is long sleeve, so it's just a great pairing. I just really like it together. And this is a sheer. I'm hoping you can see this is a sheer. We put it up earlier today, but what's really popular right now is the longer sheer overlay, and the skirt stops knee length or even shorter. So you can have the skirt, so there's two fabrics under here. I mean, there's two fabrics, they're layered together, and we're seeing a lot of this right now for fall. It's really a cute look because the boots will come up under the sheer, and so you see the boots. So there's the fabric underneath and the sheer is about 10 inches longer than the skirt. So whatever your skirt fabric is that you're using, and I use it's brand new, it's up online, and it says it coordinates with, you know, the sheer. I put the two together. It's really cute. I don't know, can you see that this is a sheer underneath here? I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, let's try to get that in close if we can. Yeah, there you go. That's a big difference. See, so you can see that look is really stylish. It's in a lot of stores. It's just a cute look, especially like I said with the boots underneath. Don't try to do it, you know, I mean, I guess you could do it with flats, but I think I've seen it more with boots, and it's really a great look with boots. Okay? Alright, so that's just the same pattern done twice, no pattern changes. Okay, then I started to go, well, here. Alright, the other one I did, so I did 3 with no pattern changes. I was just changing the lengths and changing the fabrics. So really what I wanted you to see was that when you're dealing with a skirt, especially this skirt, because there's no gathers in the skirt, the fabric changes are amazing. To go from sheers to silks to cottons to wools to denim, all these different fabrics are really just amazing. So it's a lot of fun. You can really take one pattern and make it do lots and lots of different things. In this particular case, of course, this is me now, I made a little leather skirt out of it. So again, all I did was put center front on the fold, center back on the fold, and I made a black leather skirt. Because I'm again going to wear those with boots, there's a million variances you can do with the tops. The cardigan we had made a couple weeks ago, we sold out of that fabric, we don't have it, but it's just a really nice, clean, fresh look. Leather's come a long way, and that leather skirt's going to be real versatile for you. It is not a youth thing, it's not an age thing. Leather just really penetrates all different ages. Okay, so then I started to change up the pattern. So lots of use if you don't want to change the patterns, you just want to use different fabrics. The next one I did, I want you to use unusual fabrics. You know, when I go to New York, I'm always looking for border prints. I'm always looking for unusual fabrics. And I always get the same response. Well, I don't buy them because everybody's afraid of them. Nobody wants them. And I want every weird, unusual fabric I can possibly find, because that's what's going to make those really awesome garments. To me, that's what's going to make those really awesome garments. So this is the next one I did. And again, I didn't do any fabric changes. This was simply, I'm going to take this off. This was simply by how I placed the fabric on, how I placed the pattern on the fabric. This is pattern number 83, Colette's Wrap. It's a great topper for this. It's very simple, just to do it on a little black lightweight knit. And this is, you guys, I don't know any of these fabric names. They're all too new, and I've been gone out of town, and I don't remember what they all are. But this is a beautiful border. It's a, do you have it? Go to page 2. The blue and the black. Wedgwood blue. It is a reversible, is it a wool? It's gorgeous. It's just, I mean, it's so beautiful. So there is a strip about 11 inches wide, or something like that, 11 inches wide every yard or so. So what I did, the first thing I did is I put that at the top of the skirt. Now this was similar to the Chanel skirt, and that's what got me thinking about doing this in a skirt, because what they had done is they had cut this and pieced it. Well, this fabric is continuous, and all I did was lay it out to where the top portion was the blue. And then, just because I wanted to complete the outfit, I went ahead and made a little tank top to match. And obviously, don't try to center the blue. You don't want it to be centered. You want it to be artistic looking, so you want to offset the blue as it comes in vertical. Also what I did, and so it's just an idea, it's a really great idea. You can see that it goes black all the way down to the bottom, but it's a great looking outfit, and then just put a little wrap over it. I wanted you to see that when you top stitch the blue, change your thread. It doesn't look good to black top stitch the blue or to blue top stitch the black. So I changed my thread blue. As I went to the black, I changed it everywhere, on the side, on the armhole, everywhere. And then what I did also is I used a knit body for the back, and only for the top, and that was because the fabric it's definitely not stiff, but there's no reason to have that extra fabric in the back. So the back of this, I used the Lulu Sprite and just made it a black knit. And that Lulu Sprite is terrific for doing that. And you're seeing a lot of ready-to-wear tops, tanks, undersleeves with a black solid part of that garment is a black solid, and I loved it. So I did the black in the knit, the solid, and I love the look. And then again with this little kind of shawl thing over it. This is pattern number 83. It just really makes a great little whatever. And so you can see that there's different levels where you can really take it dressy, more casual, etc., etc. Just a stunning outfit. Not anything you would find in ready-to-wear, just completely unique, completely different. Again, no changes to the pattern. What we really want to focus on is how we place it on, how we place the pattern on the fabric, and how we change it around. If you have border prints, if you have all those beautiful fabrics right now, this is a great pattern to use them on those type of fabrics. Alright, then I wanted you to see I did a wrap skirt, and I did it pretty easily. I did it out of a denim. Oops, I'm sorry. Does the black leather has an invisible zipper at the side seam? Actually all of them I made, I used invisible zipper closures at the side seam, with the exception of the knit, but I had a band. Does that work?
And then I thought Vera had buttons down the front.
Vera does have buttons down the front. I moved the center front to the fold and put an invisible zipper in the side. Only because I knew you'd know how to make the buttons up the front. No, there's no elastic waist. The only elastic waist there was the one black. Everything else has a fitted waist. This has a fitted waist. There's an invisible zipper here at the side. This is the contoured waist. I kept exactly like the pattern. It's the contoured waist. How do you fit for a tummy? You just ignore it. You don't need to fit for a tummy. You just drape the tummy, decide where you want the skirt to hang from, and if you want to, you can put a little elastic inside for instance, on this one, like it's top stitched, you could, there's a facing inside here. The facing is about 2 inches wide. You could put elastic on the inside and stitch it to the facing, the contoured waistband, whatever you want to call it, and that way it would feel a little tighter against your tummy. But you don't need to do anything different for a tummy. A tummy, as long as your skirt will stay up, your back, and it will, but because your back is concave. So your skirt can only, it's not going to fall off. It can't. Your hips are going to hold on. I mean, if you're female anyway, your hips are going to hold on to it. So we don't need to worry about the skirt falling off. The fabric under the sheer is right next to it on the site. It's a stretch rayon spandex. It's on the site right next to it. They're right next door to each other. And we even put on there coordinates with, so you could know which ones they were made out of. They're beautiful. They're kind of a Wedgwood blue color. I mean, I got a lot of blues here. I love blue, I guess. No, you could make the pattern for the band. You could make it up. It's just the size of the top of the skirt, whatever the size your waist is, and just make it 4 3/4 inches wide, so that when you fold it in half and put the 2-inch elastic inside, you'll have 3/8 inch seam allowance twice for seam allowance to sew it onto the skirt. Okay.
And on the knit skirt, did you sew the darts?
On the knit skirt I sewed the darts, yes. I made it, that's why I said I didn't rely on the knit for fit. I sewed it exactly like the pattern. Because, I mean, anytime you're going to deal with darts, you're just going to get a better fit than if you deal with gathers. It's your choice. You could gather it on, but I didn't want to do that. I just used the band. The only reason I used the band was to facilitate me getting it off and getting it on. And the rest of these, I used an invisible zipper in the side. You could use a zipper at center back if you wanted. I chose to use an invisible zipper at the side. To me, they're so fast and easy to put in. We have a method on YouTube that I showed you how to do that's really quick and easy, and I love the method. And it takes 5 minutes to put in a zipper. And buy them by the dozen so that you have them around. Okay. All right, we okay? All right. So then let's go to pattern changes. The next one I did is this blue. I think you can see it there. This is a really popular styling right now, so I'm going to show you the pattern work. You can see that the sides are black. So this is again that Lulu Sprite fabric that I used. We call it Lulu Sprite because it's supposed to be for Lululemon. It's a wonderful fabric. Love the fabric. It's just beautiful to work with. It's really nice on. It's so soft. It's just really nice. So what I did is I copied the whole entire skirt. Let me show you here because I've got my little pattern. Okay, so here's the skirt. Make sure you move the center front to the fold. Make sure, because that front of the skirt has a little extra on it. So move the center front is marked, move it to the fold, and just make a copy. Alright? And then pick a point at the waist. Pick a point that's farther in at the hem. I went in 6 inches at the hem, and I went in 2 inches at the top. So 2 inches at the top, 6 inches in the bottom, and draw a straight angle line. So this becomes the black, and this becomes a different color. Now you could make a zillion of these. They're so popular right now. They are all over the place. This becomes the color, this becomes the black. So if you're looking at the skirt here, you can see that that side is black. And I'm going to tell you something. It's so slimming. You put this skirt on, and you look like half the size because you only have half the width. It really is extremely slimming. This is an Ellie Tahari fabric. We just put that up. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to work with. Really, really pretty. Alright, so then the back, you do the same thing. So again, I went 2 inches in from the side seam. So you're clear, the darts are still all going to be done. And I went 6 inches in at the bottom. Draw a straight line, cut it apart. Make sure you add seam allowances when you cut this apart. If you sew it back together, you're going to lose a lot of circumference, so don't do that. Make sure you add your seam allowances, and there you have it, and it's beautiful. Very easy to sew, very quick to sew. There is stretch on the black. There's actually stretch on the blue too. I did not rely on the stretch for fit. It's just nice because you can make the skirt really close to your body, not tight but close, but then the black has stretch, the blue has stretch, and so it has a little give as you sit down. It's a beautiful skirt. I just absolutely love it. The sheer skirt is not lined. No, you wouldn't line a sheer skirt, but it's got an underskirt to it. There's 2 layers to the sheer. There's the blue underneath. So you don't want it to be lined. Once the skirt stops, then you can see through the shearing, but you'll have boots on, so it'll be the boots that are underneath. But y'all can all see that there's another layer under here. Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right. Okay. Easy to do, you guys. These are just great ideas with straight skirts, and these are all ideas that are out there right now. I just stole them, said that's 2009, that's 2009, that's 2009. It just repeated itself over and over. So this great little pencil skirt is going to be your go-to skirt. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? The reason I like it So number one, it fits well. It's got a good shape of the curve at the side. And number two, it's got a contoured waist as opposed to a waistband. Those things are real positives. All right, we ready for another one? All right, so I'm going to bring in my next little lady. Absolutely love this look. Look at her skirt. Is that too cute? Just adorable. All right, so I made the pattern for this one. And this is a fabric, again, this is a cotton fabric. It's beautiful. It's perfect for fall because it looks fallish, but it's cotton. It's a beautiful texture on that fabric. See our cute little wriggles and ruffles? Fringe is so great. It's everywhere this fall. Some fringe I love, some fringe I don't like. You guys already know that. So for me to like a fringe, I think it's really adorable. You want to make this with a stripe pattern of some kind because here at the top, the stripe is going to be off grain. It's going to go on bias, and on the bottom it's the same fabric, but you're going to turn it vertical. Alright, so let me show you how I did this. You can put this up here maybe. Nope, that's not going to work. Alright, we'll put it back here. Alright, so what you have to do on this is you have to trace the whole entire skirt. It's asymmetric, so anytime you do asymmetric, you've got to trace the whole entire skirt. You've got to double the front. And then all you're going to do is you're going to go down. I went down 9 inches here, and I went down 15 inches over here and drew a straight line. Just a straight angle line. So this portion follows this stripe, and this portion is up and down to the stripe. You're going to do the same thing to the back. The only thing you want to be really careful of is to make sure that you do the right side up so that when the skirt is put together, and this is how the skirt's literally going to look, these points match and these points match. It'll look really silly if that fringe doesn't match at the side seams. I mean, that looks really tacky. So be sure that you make those points the same. Now, once you've cut that apart, hold on, let me cut this apart. And I was just going to wait till tonight so I could cut it apart. Be sure anytime you cut something apart that you add seam allowance to put it back together. So this portion goes on the stripe. So the top of this thing is going to be a little bit funky and crooked. If you're using a fabric and you're not sure it'll hold up, just fuse it. Fuse it, it'll give the stability. I fused that fabric just because it was cotton. It was very lightweight. It's beautiful fabric, but I wasn't certain of it. And then this, you want to make sure that the stripes are going up and down. So let me just give you another look at that. Okay, then what I did is I took just a piece of black leather. Let me find my black leather here. And I did it 6 inches wide. So you're going to measure how wide the skirt is, and I made it 6 inches in width. I literally just put it in. I serged those pieces together. So when you go to sew these, you've added your seam allowance, you've got it put together. When I've sewed the two together, I put the leather right inside, and I just serged it all at one time so that when I went to open it up, boom, there was my leather in the seam. Okay, don't slash your leather before you sew it in because it'll go all over the place. It's much easier to just leave it as a solid piece, sew it in, and then come back and cut it up. It's an adorable skirt. It's just cute as can be. It's got just a little bit of, whatever to it. Mine goes all the way to the back. You can see it meets at the side. I love this skirt. I mean, it's just adorable. See, this is why I love doing webcasts, because I get to sew for me, and I put time aside to go shopping and find great ideas for you, but they really get for me, and I get to make really fun stuff. I just love that skirt. Whoops, sorry. Okay, so again, very easy thing to do. Just make sure, again, what I did is I knew I had all my ideas together before I started sewing. So once I made my skirt and I had my center front on the fold and the back on the fold, and I changed that facing, that little band part that I was telling you about, then I just kept duplicating that to make my other pieces. So it's not like you have to go back to the original pattern. You should keep a fresh copy of your center, front, and back, so that as you're making more pieces, it's all ready to go, which is what I did. Just makes it a little bit easier when you go to make the next pattern. No, the bottom's not off grain. The bottom is straight. The top is off grain. I think that's probably what you meant. See, the bottom is straight. It's perpendicular to the, the grain is, it's perpendicular to the grain. It's this portion that you're going to put on the fabric like that, so this portion's going to be off grain. The top's going to be off grain, but the top's off grain anyway. Waists aren't straight, hips aren't straight, none of that's straight anyway. That's the part I was saying. If you feel like your fabric's a little bit unstable, fuse this piece. And that way it'll just give you a little more stability. I didn't have any problem. I'm just suggesting that if you're worried about it, you can fuse it. There still are darts at the waist. I didn't change any of that. Just in the print, you can't even see it. You can't even see them in all of that process. Quarter inch. And actually, I slashed ½ inch, and Brett will tell you, because we were sitting around talking, and I was slashing this leather, and I slashed him ½ inch, and I showed it to him, and I said, what do you think? You think it looks okay, or you think it looks too fat? He said, I think it looks too fat. So I went back and I cut him quarter inch. We both liked it so much better. He's my design guy. We both liked it way better. So I'm definitely going to tell you quarter inch. ½ inch is too fat. Quarter inch looks really nice. They have a really nice fringy look to them. Quarter inch, ½ inch, I don't know. It just looked too fat. Same amount, 2 yards. But if you screw up, I screwed up. If you screw up, your 2 yards is not going to be enough. So make sure. And what I'm saying to you is, I'll tell you where I screwed up. In my head, when I actually went to, instead of making this pattern, I took this and I folded it in half, right? The skirt. I had the skirt folded in half, and I just cut it off. Well, you don't get the asymmetric when you just cut it off. Duh. But I just actually did it, and then I opened the fabric up, and I had this, fabric that had a point in the middle, and I thought, okay, that's not what I want. So the moral of the story is you really should always make the pattern first, because you're not going to know. It's so much better to do it that way. So I screwed up and needed an extra yard, but you won't do that, because you have me advising you not to screw up and where to go. Make your pattern. It takes you 5 minutes to trace and make that pattern. I just thought, I know what I'm doing, I don't need the pattern. And I screwed up. So don't follow my lead. All right? Okay, we've got that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. All right, so a couple more. I've got 2 left. I did a wrap. I did a wrap skirt. And I did it out of denim. I think it's a great look. It's just an asymmetric look, and it's easy and it's quick, and you can do this. And we've made these little tops, but I just think it's a really cute little outfit. You can wrap it as far as you want to. Let me just show you quickly with this pattern piece that I have over here. You're going to duplicate the front and then decide how wide you want it to lap. It usually laps 2 but not past those darts, so you can fold the piece back and then you cut 2 of these. So one laps to, this is the front. I'm using the back as an example. The back does not change. So the front, you just duplicate it, turn it back, usually at the dart. Usually that wrap does not go past the dart, and then make 2 of these. So one wraps to the inside, one wraps to the outside. You can put all kinds of trim here. The fit will still be the same. This is one of the easiest skirts to make. No closures. No, maybe a button here at the top. You could even do Velcro if you don't like buttons, but you understand what I'm saying. But there's so many trims you could do. There's just, the sky's the limit. It's a great skirt. Again, I did it in denim, but you could do lots and lots and lots and lots of options. You could curve the edge. You could add fullness. I just thought, gosh, I could make 10 of these, just in different fabrics. Again, I want you to notice the diversity of fabrics that the skirt and the pattern offers. you know, from cottons to silks to lightweight to wools to just all kinds of stuff. And the last one I'm going to show you is a denim. And what I did with it is I made a dress. Because we've talked so much about, I'm always saying to you, add on to the bottom, add on to the bottom. Well, when I add on to the bottom, this is the skirt that I'm always putting on. I always put this on to my sweater set or my tank top or whatever it is. I just put it on. So I decided I would do it full scale, and I'm going to show you how I did it. I wanted to make a tank dress. I'll show it to you in just a minute. So what I did is I took my tank top and I folded it up. I have my waist marked on my tank top. So I folded it up to where my waist was marked. Alright, then center front cut on the fold, center front cut on the fold, which is what I wanted, and I just literally put the two together and cut it as one. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Let me show you. Then I did some other fun stuff in the process, but that's it. Okay, so this is a new denim we got in. It's kind of like a little purplish in color. I love this. I just really love this denim. So it's a little tank dress. You could stitch darts and put the darts in. I didn't. I decided I would wear a belt. But one of the things I did on the side is I did an exposed zipper. And I love that. I just really like all these little trendy things, and they're really fun to build them in. It's not like I'm going to wear this thing for 20 years anyway, so when the zippers go out, it's okay. I put the zipper up right under the armhole because that's the easiest one to do rather than zip it the other way. It's much easier to have this. People have said to me, I've done this on another dress, and someone said to me, does that bug you? No, I don't even notice it. I don't even notice that underneath my armhole. But I did that on the side seam. I made it sleeveless because I wanted to wear like a little shell over it. And then I wanted to show you a little finish that I did at the bottom of this one. You could do it at the bottom of any of the skirts. But when I was shopping and looking for ideas, I actually saw several skirts, and several of them had trim along the bottom. And they're selvages. They're just a selvage. So when I made this one, I was purposely looking for a really pretty selvage. That is the selvage of the denim. It's really pretty. And I just did 3 rows. I serged the edge. I only cut it a 1/2 inch wide total. I made sure it took me 3 yards to do this because I went around 3 yards. I used 2 yards for the dress, and then I knit another yard. I cheated on another yard. It wasn't that expensive. The denim's not. So I decided I wanted 3 rows at the bottom because I had seen different things at the store, and some had 2 and some had 1, and it didn't look like enough. I liked 3, so I decided I was going to do 3. So I just did it and stitched it on, and I just really like the way it looks, and I love the way it hangs. And that's just selvage, so you don't have to worry about it raveling or finishing or anything else. It looks really great. So I love this little tank dress. It's got a skirt on it. It's got the darts in place. Like I said, if you wanted to do it more fitted, you could. The whole side opens up, so it's really easy to get it off and on. And I guarantee you I'll be wearing it around. I just really like it. Alright, so if you can't find a great way to use this pattern, I give up. How's that? No, I think there's a lot of fun ideas, and I love skirts, and I love that, like I said, they're so popular for the fall. Pair them with your boots. For right now, you could make them up and just put them on with sandals. Flip-flops would be really comfortable. And of course, easy tops. We've got a lot of great easy tops that I paired them with so that you could get an idea as to what to wear the tops with. The leather? No, the leather, no, this is the leather we sell, ladies. Or here, let me get the sample out. We just put leather up on the site. Have you all seen it? We're so excited. Every time I go to New York, I try to buy leather, at least black, so that I can, you know, you guys could buy a skin and try it. I was so over the moon when I found leather this time. And I mean, it's reasonable. It's so much more expensive when you find it. So let me just tell you a little bit about it. It's very lightweight. We have a regular leather, and then we have a stretch leather. The stretch leather is 100 a skin, but it's bigger. But you don't need stretch leather for this. This is just a regular leather. It sews beautifully on the sewing machine. It cuts beautiful. I mean, you know, gosh, I need to get y'all using leather. Next webcast, I'll do a little leather facts. I will next because it's all over for fall. So, and you know the other thing I've noticed is when it's on a garment, the garment looks so expensive. It looks very, very rich. So you can see just to add it to a skirt like this only took, I mean, I think it was 25 inches long and 6 inches wide. It just took two little pieces of leather and I just sewed them right into the seam and then just cut it as fringe. So it's lightweight, it's beautiful. I know you can't feel this, but you see how it's so pretty. I don't know how else to tell you about it. But go on, it's Italian, and I have seen leather before, and I've had people call me and say, "Oh, we've got great leather," and I say, "Send me a sample." And I get the sample and it feels like cardboard. It's terrible. This is so beautiful and so soft. So I wouldn't, I wouldn't put it online if it wasn't just really gorgeous and really beautiful, and this is. So you can get a skin, you can just try it. Just try to play with it. Do a welt, do a trim, do all kinds of stuff. I'm going to show you a couple of trim ideas next time because St. John, I took a picture of a beautiful cape. Cape was $2,500 because it had black leather trim. I mean, this is a nothing cape for $2,500, just ridiculous. But they are, they're good ideas. And you have to buy the leather, but we can buy the leather. I think we've got online for $50 for the skin. Well, the skin, there's a formula that you use for buying leather. So let's say you want to make a jacket. Let's just use this as an example. Let's say the skirt, because I've got this skirt thing in front of me. Let me grab my glasses. Okay, so if you're looking at the back of this skirt, and I'm going to make a size 18. So I'm going to take 2 yards, 45 inches wide. Let's just use that as my number. 2 yards is 72. You got a calculator, Brett? Okay, 2 yards is 72 inches. So I convert everything to inches, and I take my 72 inches, which is my 2 yards, and I times it times the width of my fabric, which in this case is 45. So I do 72 times 45, and that gives me 3,240 square inches, because I'm times, square inches. Leather is sold in a square foot, and a square foot is 144 square inches. So I divide that number by 144, and that gives me, and use a calculator, gives me 22 and a half. So I need 22 and a half square feet. So like leather, our big ones I think were 6, I can't remember, 7. So I would do 4 of those. You want to go over by a little bit more, especially with black leather. Black leather is terrific to have as leftovers because I can do all kinds of stuff with black leather as leftovers. So I want to get 4 of those so that I have enough, and then I always want to cut my larger pieces out first, but that's going to give you how you convert yards to how leather is sold, which is by the square foot. Oh, just one piece. If you wanted to just do the fringe on the skirt, one piece is all you would need. All right? Isn't she cute? Cute and sassy, huh? But again, pair it with those silly boots. You guys got to get some boots for fall. All right, so I think we're at time. Any questions we can answer?
We do have a question about proportions.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Well, just
Oh, question in general about proportions?
or shorten, but changing the length of the skirt, keeping this.
The skirt should be knee length. When I say knee length, people always say to me, well, where at the knee? Bottom of the knee, top of the knee, where at the knee? I'm going to recommend you do it top of the knee. Now, I did it top of the knee because I have those boots that come over my knee. And so nothing's going to show. The boot's going to go up and then the skirt's going to come down. Nothing's going to show. But the reason I say top of the knee is because no one is looking at you like knee high. No one's 2 feet tall. So when you put that skirt at the top of your knee, it will actually cover your knee to everyone's visualization. And the shorter the skirt, the taller you look. If your skirt, dress, whatever, is at the bottom of your knee, it looks too long. It looks matronly. If you got to have it there, great. But if you want to look taller and younger really fast and thinner, put it at the top of your knee, and that's what I would recommend.
Is there any direction on that leather?
No, leather has no direction. Leather has no ups, downs. I mean, I'm talking about basic black. You know, you can get into printed leathers and they'll have designs on them, but there's no bias or grain or anything like that when you're dealing with leather. No. When you're dealing with stretch leather, it stretches in one way more than another, and so the stretch has to go around. But the regular leather, you do anything you want with it.
And where does the fringe fall on you?
Where does the fringe fall on me? Okay, when I gave you guys those numbers, when you go back to what I did, I I came down 9 inches, which was right up my hip line. That's the high part. And then I went down to 15. So basically what I did is I did a 1 to 2 and then a 2 to 1. So I kept that skirt in proportion in thirds. So let's say my whole skirt was 24, so I did 8 or 9 and 1 to 2, 2 to 1. And that's what gave me the cut of that angle. That's how I figured it out. You can do the same thing. So if your skirt's only 20 inches long, if you're little bitty, divide the seam into thirds and start the line at the 1 and then take it to the 2 over on the other side.
How will you wash that?
I wash leather all the time, so I'll throw it in the washer and I'll throw it in the dryer, just like anything else. Leather's washable, you guys. The cows have been out in that rain long before they ever got to you. So you're not going to ruin it, you're not going to hurt it, you're not going to do anything.
We keep getting questions about this ring of yours.
About the ring? Oh, no, no, you guys, I'm not married, I'm not engaged. No, 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 no. Sorry to throw you off, you guys. I guess I didn't realize you were that into details. As y'all know, my mother passed away a year ago. And so just in going through some of her things, this was a ring that my father had given my mother. I think it was their, I don't know, 50th, 50th anniversary. Quite a number of years they had been together. And my father gave it to my mother, and I had kept it on my mother's ring. I had actually increased it to fit her as she got older. Her hands got quite arthritic and large, and I had sized it so she could keep that ring on her finger. And when she died, I kept the ring. And so I just recently have had time to where I went to the jeweler. I had it sized down so that I could wear it. And so this is just my mom and my dad. That's all. Just my mom and my dad. And my memory every day when I wear it that I had a great mom and dad. So no marriage, no nothing. Sorry to throw everybody off track. I didn't even think you could see it. Anyway, thanks for asking. We will see you guys in 2 weeks. Yes? In 2 weeks? New DVD out. We're so excited because I get so many questions on sleeves and armholes. I mean, clearly out of, if I had 10 emails a day, 9 are on sleeves and armholes. And I'm thinking, wow, we're just not understanding this. So I did a DVD, $20 for this DVD, $19.99. This is cheap chump change, and we hope you get it. And then you won't have as many questions. And then also the new patterns will be out. Before we see you next time, we'll have new patterns out, and we're really excited about that. This is National Sewing Month. So if you guys are going to do it, let's do it this month. All right, so we'll see you in 2 weeks. You guys have a great fall. It's beautiful. Get outside, not too long. Come back inside and do some sewing. Maybe put your sewing machine outside for a little bit. That would be great. All right, thanks so much for being here. Happy sewing, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care. Bye.